Life is so much better when you have someone to share it with. And this couldn't be more true for our two guests on today's episode who have bicycled together for over a decade in some of the world's longest and most challenging events, from the Silver State 508 and 24-hour World Time Trials in California to the Race Across America and Paris-Brest-Paris. They've also toured all over the world on their tandem bicycle together. So grab an espresso and enjoy today's awesome Ultra Talk. I'm your host, Justin Tu. Let's roll. Hey Ultra family, Justin Tu here, your host of the Ultra Cycling Show. Today we have two very special guests. In fact, it's a couple, and we'll be discussing all of their accomplishments over many, many years. Really excited to be able to have Tom and Elisabeth Guevara on the show today. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Hello.
Where are you guys tuning in from today?
Oh, we live in Coarse Gold, California, which is about a half an hour north of Fresno and a half an hour south of Yosemite National Park. So we're up in the Sierra foothills.
Oh, that's a really beautiful location. Do you guys ride a lot through the Sierras then?
Well, yes,
yes and no, in the foothills, and then every once in a while we'll go up further.
Yeah.
Where there's cooler weather.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. During this time, does it get cooler up there if you're going up?
Oh, yeah. We're even like, I'd say anywhere from 5 to 7 degrees cooler than Fresno.
Pretty cool. All right, before we dive into more questions and to get to know both of you in your ultra cycling careers, let's start with a quick sprint round of questions. Just a series of questions where we can get to know you in a nutshell. You could answer in a couple of sentences, and we'll give both of you an opportunity to answer. So the first question, of course, most important, how long have you been riding bicycles and how long have you been an ultra cyclist?
I started riding in 2007, so it's probably around 13 years. Yeah, 13 years. And ultra cycling, I started 4 years ago.
No way. Only 3-4 years ago? All right.
Yeah,
you have a long list of accomplishments. Can't wait to figure out how on earth you went from 0 to 100.
You have to define ultra cycling, Justin, really.
Well, for me, ultra cycling is 100 miles and over. Plus,
so you've
100 miles plus.
Okay, so then you started a long time
ago. Okay, then perhaps multi-day events 3-4 years ago?
Oh, yeah. There you go. Multi-day.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. How about you, Elisabeth?
I started in 2008.
Nice.
Yeah. Watched Tom do his first organized ride and saw all different shapes and sizes and different types of people come in and thought, I could do that too. And so, and it was a nice thing to do together.
Cool. So Tom was the one that got you both crazy, and then you hopped on. You couldn't resist after a few years.
Well, the reason he actually started cycling, he used to be a runner and he had bilateral hip replacements, so he couldn't run anymore. So then he picked up a bicycle.
And I think a lot of athletes are in the same boat. I actually was a runner myself growing up through high school, and then had a short stint of triathlons. And next thing you know, I was there riding my bicycle. So we can relate. Okay, now how many bicycles do you both own, and who is crazier about bicycles and more obsessed about having the latest and greatest gear and all that?
Well, we have. I have 2 road bikes, 1 time trial bike, 1 mountain bike, and she has the same 2 road bikes, a mountain bike.
I don't have a time trial.
She doesn't have a time trial bike, and we do have tandem.
2 tandems.
1 travel tandem.
Nice. Gee, so you guys have collected quite a nice batch of bicycles there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now which ones are your favorite?
Well, right now I'm training to do Borrego Springs, a 24-hour time trial. So I'm basically on my time trial bike a lot. So right now, that I'm riding that a lot, yes.
Cool. And what was the brand of that?
It's a Trek.
Nice.
Yeah, well, all our bikes are Treks, except for the Tandem. It's a
Tandems.
co-motion.
Okay. So hardcore Trek fans. Any particular reason for that?
Oh, no. I think a lot of our friends have Treks, and we just
The bike shops that we are
deal with
are
our Trek dealers.
primarily tracked.
Hmm. But clearly it's done well for you both, and you have accomplished a lot on them. So that's cool. What bicycle do you ride the most, Elisabeth?
My new Trek with the electronic shifting, but I have to say my first Trek, which I had custom painted, is still my favorite, but the electronic shifting, I have to say, is nice.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, actually they were both custom painted, actually. So the new Trek is a Project One, and I have it painted for, it's like that. It's Bianchi, the Bianchi color.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It was based on a bicycle. I copied a bicycle from a gal that we actually rode in honor of, Crystal, for the RAAM team. She passed away in a cycling accident, and so my bike is painted as her bike was. So that was a custom paint job. But a Bianchi was, we didn't have any dealers, Bianchi dealers, and it's nice to have a local bike shop that you go to.
Yeah, that's really special. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, now what bicycle computer do you both use?
We use Garmin 1030.
I don't have a 1030, do I?
Yes, you do.
Oh, yeah, I guess I do.
Doesn't matter to you as long as you could see your speed, right? Now, how about, do you guys train with power at all or heart rate?
I do. I train with power, yes.
Cool.
I don't.
You're too strong. It doesn't matter. You know you're beating Tom every day anyway, right?
Haven't been on the bike much this year.
Yeah, me as well. I can relate. We'll give Tom a chance.
Well, we were supposed to be in Japan in June doing a bicycle tour for my 60th birthday. So,
oh boy.
There's a tandem tour.
Yeah. So postponed for now.
Till 2022, yes.
Wow. That would be beautiful. Now, let's see. In June in Japan, are the cherry blossoms out at that time?
I don't think so.
Okay. But you're going for other sites.
Yeah, we were, it was from Hokkaido, the North Island, Hokkaido, and we actually were going to get to ride in Russia one day because there's a little island close, and we were, they were going to take us to Russia, which was another country on the list. So.
Wow, that's pretty neat. Okay, so it is organized by some other group.
Yeah, it's a tandem tour. Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, 2022, we'll have to have you back on the show and do a recap of that tour. Sounds really beautiful. Okay, guys. So when you're riding, what's your favorite ride snack? Whether it's a race or, a tour or just training every day?
Right now, I make they're date bars. They're made with dates, cashews, cocoa powder, coconut, peanut butter. And
nice.
I make those, and that's what I snack on.
Oh, excellent. Now, do you shape them as bars, or do you put them into balls? Okay.
No, I shape them into bars. Sometimes I do balls.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Delicious. How about you, Elisabeth?
I would say the same. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Marco likes them too.
Oh, okay. So that's one of the secrets, huh? He didn't share that with us on his episode. That's probably how he got his 12 new world records, right? That's awesome. Marco Ballo, for those of you who don't know, he just set 12 new world records. Check that podcast out on the website. All right. How about after a nice, long, hard ride, what's your favorite post-ride meal?
Oh, I eat just about anything, but I would really prefer like a steak and some pasta. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I would do taco and burrito with a beer.
All right. I think we're heading to the same restaurant then after our next long ride together. I always crave Mexican food. Don't know why, but just some good rice and beans and taco burrito or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good Mexican food out there where you are in the kind of Central Valley area, Fresno, that kind of
Yes.
area.
Yes.
A lot of taco trucks,
Yeah.
food trucks.
All right. When was your last ride and how long was it?
Well, my last ride was the 600K just 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Yeah, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah, it was 375 miles.
Wow, so you're in tip-top shape then, it sounds like.
Yeah, I'm trying to be anyway.
That's excellent. And where was that from?
We started in Fresno and went over the hill into Hollister, San Juan Bautista.
Nice.
Made it into Monterey, and then we spent the night for a few hours in King City. Got up and finished the ride the next day.
Wow. And you both did that ride?
No, I supported.
Okay.
No, I haven't been on the bicycle for a while. The last time was on the trainer.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure a lot of people are in the same boat with the pandemic, a lot of virtual riding, even the double centuries and other events. And like they say, Tom, behind every great man is a great woman. So
Oh, yes.
that's cool. I am familiar with that stretch there. You're talking about Hollister, San Juan Bautista, and all that.
Yeah.
Because I've done several times from San Jose to LA, and I usually like going that route, and then going through King City down to Paso Robles, and then I cut across to Highway 1 from there.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. We did. That reminds me of the 600K. Did from San Jose to Oxnard and took that route.
Oh, okay.
Jumped over. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Pretty much. It sounds familiar.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the same route.
Now, it sounds like you both have done a lot of riding. I know you've competed in many events. You've also done a lot of touring. Across all of that and all your training, you're in the foothills of the Sierras. What do you prefer in terms of terrain? Do you prefer the climbs, the descents, the rollers, or the flats?
Let's see. For me, I prefer flat because you can just get into a rhythm. Nice rhythm and just kind of cruise along. The next would be, I guess, climbs, because also you can get into a rhythm and climb. Descents would be next, and rollers. I don't like them because it's just constantly shifting up and down, You know.
Yeah, definitely. Elizabeth?
Yeah.
I would say flat. I don't like rollers either, but I am scared of descending. So that's one of my, I guess being a nurse, I know what can happen. So I take it very slow on descents.
Yeah.
I'm never able to make up time on descents because I'm scared.
Well, don't worry. I'm similar. I'm pretty conservative when it comes to the downhills. Not like Jason. I know he was going in his podcast. I think he said he hit just about 60 miles per hour.
Yeah.
We did a ride together nearby here in the Livermore area down Patterson Pass, which is part of the Devil Mountain Double, but we were going the reverse way, and he actually passed a motorcycle, believe it or not. And Marco Ballo, he said he did about 65 miles per hour, but on a flat. Now, but
he was drafting.
Yeah, right.
Didn't he say he was drafting behind a van or something? So
yeah.
When we descend on the tandem, you can hit pretty high speeds. I just close my eyes.
Yeah, Marco has the e-bike. That's why he was
Yeah, that's so funny. Now, what's the max speed that you both have gone then? I assume then it's on a tandem?
No, for me on my singles, 58 miles an hour on a descent.
Oh boy. So you feel pretty comfortable then?
Yeah.
No, it's still nerve-wracking, but
yeah.
I think I've hit 40 on my single, but not comfortable at all. I try to stay in the 30s descending.
Yeah. But now on the tandem, what would you say is your average descending speed that you guys are both comfortable with?
Well, I know that she's afraid to descend, so I'd just kind of take it easy. So maybe 35, 40
Okay.
on a descent, but
Nice guy.
yeah, I want to make it back alive.
Yeah. Now, Elisabeth, so you're kind of afraid to go fast downhill, but now if you were drafting a car and going flat like Marco Balla was, would you be more comfortable going 50, 60 miles an hour?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
That's the nurse mind. No matter what,
Right,
the
right.
nurse mind takes over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm not, I mean, I can be competitive, but I'm not, I still like to have fun.
Yeah, totally. Okay, a couple more sprint round questions here. What time of day do you guys both prefer riding, training?
I prefer morning. However, I do switch it up. I do train in the afternoons in the heat of the day and when it's the most windy, just so I get that training in, from heat and the wind. So I change it up, but mostly morning time.
Yeah,
I
sounds
like morning.
Yeah, morning is nice. Sounds like Tom takes his training pretty seriously. He likes he's a sucker for punishment, I suppose you would say.
Yeah, he takes his training very seriously.
That's great. Okay, now what do you guys think? Does ultra cycling require more mental or physical strength?
Mental. I would say mental.
Okay, Elisabeth?
Absolutely mental.
Mental. All right. So both of you are pretty mental then. Okay, what's your favorite event? You guys have done so much.
Favorite event? Well, I'll tell you that when I did Paris-Brest-Paris, that was the most exciting, the most fun, the best time I ever had, just because of the different people, the people from around the world that were there, the people in France that came out to support you, and I thought that was the most exciting and best time I've ever had. As far as my cycling event, and I guess next would be Race Across America, because again there it's just so exciting riding your bike across the states, and then occasionally you do have a person that comes out on the sidewalk with a pot and pan and they're beating it, cheering you on.
Definitely.
That's exciting.
Cool. Elisabeth, how about you? Favorite events?
I also have to agree with Race Across America. It was hard, but it was so rewarding. Doing it for a charity was rewarding. We did it in honor of, like I said, Crystal, who passed away. So that was really, just a big honor. Her parents came down for the start. It was just very, very moving. So that would be like racing type event. And then the other type of riding, the touring we do in the different countries. Just this past January, we rode from Siem Reap, Cambodia to Hoi An, Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
And
Nice.
that has definitely been my favorite touring type event. Same thing like what Tom was saying with Paris. I mean, we were out in no man's land in like Cambodia and Vietnam, and little kids would come out to the street and wave and practice their English. Hi, hello, what's your name? And
cool.
Where are you from? And it was that was just so cool.
And then occasionally I would give some of the locals a ride on the tandem.
Yeah, they
would take them for a
oh
ride
my
on
gosh.
the tandem. They had so much fun.
That's the picture I should have sent you. that one is, that was, I mean, they'd never, a lot of them had never even seen a tandem.
Oh, no kidding. So that was a real treat for you guys and them.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, you guys have done a whole lot. I mean, you've done the Race Across America, you've done PBP, you've done the 24-hour world time trial. You've done even the virtual race across the West this year and the Silver State 508. You've done a lot of touring. So you've obviously accomplished a lot, and you must have started some way. So how did you both get into cycling? I guess Tom started it. Was it a particular event that you were interested in participating in, or was there a friend that you had that was doing it before you? What was the beginning of both of your adventures?
Well, for me, like I said, I used to be a runner, and then I had bilateral hip replacements, so I couldn't run anymore. So I got on a bike and rode maybe a quarter mile up the road, came back to my house, and I was exhausted. And after that, I bought a road bike, and Elisabeth said, "Hey, there's a club in Fresno. Maybe you should join the club." And so I started riding with a group called ROGs, Retired Old Guys. And,
Cool.
and I thought I was in fairly good shape, but these guys would hammer. They're like over 65 years old, and they just hammer cruising 18, 19 miles an hour. They'd drop me. I'd get dropped so bad.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's how I got started riding.
That's awesome. And we've heard of how Elisabeth got suckered into it as well.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, was there any resistance initially, Elisabeth, when Tom got into it or anything like that? Or you enjoyed it yourself and you enjoyed supporting him, and then just naturally you thought, hey, this looks kind of fun for myself as well?
Yeah, it was just, it looked like it was a lot of fun and something we could do together. And we kind of did things backwards because Tom started in 7, and then, he immediately just got did very, very well, and did the Furnace Creek and like my first big event was RAAM.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
We did centuries and double centuries, but we kind of started Tom did RAAM in 2011, and we did it then together in 2012. And then after that, we've done a lot of things after RAAM, where usually people do a lot of things and then take that big step to do RAAM. I didn't even understand what Race Across America was when Tom started talking about it.
That's incredible. So, Tom, were you a competitive runner then before? Give us a sense of what you were doing before, because clearly you had the mindset and even the physical capabilities to be able to really go from 0 to 100 when you started riding your bike.
Yes, I've always been competitive, but mostly like baseball, basketball, football type sports. Didn't really do much in cycling, and then I began running later in like maybe my senior year of high school, and continued after I graduated. And I was running a lot of 10Ks and a couple half marathons, but that was basically it. Then my hips started to hurt quite a bit from running, from needing the hip replacement. So I had to give that up. But yes, then I jumped on a bike.
He was he's being very modest. He was a very, very strong athlete in high school.
Okay. Good to have the other half of you here with us to share the truth. No, that's great. How about you, Elisabeth? What sports did you enjoy growing up?
I was not athletic. I did gymnastics in high school.
Cool.
That's pretty much it. And then became a very young mother. So not until Tom and I married did I even consider any type of sports. This is just something that we grew to love together.
Right. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Really glad you guys have been able to do this together and really enjoy ultra cycling. It's so beautiful, and it's even more beautiful when you could share it with somebody that you love. So that's awesome. But now, Elisabeth, so you didn't really do a whole lot. Then you got started later in your life with the bicycling. was it easy to get started in terms of your mindset, or was it really foreign to you and it took a while to kind of get the hang of it? Or, having Tom there to kind of guide you, did that help a lot? Give me a little sense of how things were playing out in your mind.
Um, I can't say it was hard. I saw how much joy it gave them, and getting older, you want to stay in shape, and so that was, that helped also. And then, we got to go a lot of places, doing the events. Like my first century was the lighthouse, so that was really nice at San Luis Obispo. And then we did Cool Breeze in Ventura, and then when he did the Triple Crown, it was like, well, you do a century, you can do another one. So then that started, and we did the Eastern Sierra and Grand Tour and Solvang, Davis, and you just get to travel and up and down California. And then we had friends that started doing the tandem tours, and now look at, we've been to Europe and Asia, and so it's just enjoyable, I guess. I don't really think of it as a sport. It's just fun.
Yeah, and I think it's really unique what you guys have together as a couple, being able to do that, because I know a lot of people in the ultra cycling community, typically they're riding on their own, and a lot of the times, their spouse or another family member isn't participating. So I'm sure you guys have had just a blast over the years with everything you've done, and you guys have pretty much left no rock unturned. You've done almost everything. So that's awesome. Now, I do have a couple photos that you sent me, so it'd be awesome to be able to see just visually what you guys were up to. I see this first photos there, the Great Divide in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. So I assume this was during one of your RAAMs, Race Across the Americas?
That was 2012 RAAM. And the name of our team, we were an 8-person team, and the name of our team was Crystal's Gift, for Crystal, who we did it for an organization, Team Donate Life, which brought awareness to organ donation, and Crystal donated 8 organs. So that's where Crystal's Gift, the name, came from. And if you can look on Tom's jersey, there's he had a picture of Crystal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right over there.
She was 29 years old, and she died here in Fresno. She was descending on an organized ride in 2011.
Wow. Yeah, tragic loss.
And actually, her younger sister was one of our crew members.
Oh, wow. That's special. That's so awesome.
So like I said, that will forever be my favorite ride, just because it has so much meaning.
That's really touching. Tell me about your perspective of that 2012 RAAM, Tom. How did it all come together? Whose idea was it initially?
2012, it was Elisabeth's idea.
No way, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the truth is coming out now on you, Elisabeth.
Well, I crewed for 2011. We did it again for the same organization. And then when we had like our post-RAAM dinner, I just said, well, it's much easier to ride than crew. So I needed to ride it. Can't just crew it. So yeah.
So you crewed in 2011. Tom, your first experience with RAAM then was actually riding it in 2012?
In 2011.
So you were riding and Elisabeth was crewing for you. Oh, okay.
I actually first heard of RAAM in 2010. I'm like, what the heck is that? I have a friend that said he was doing RAAM, and he kind of explained it to me, and then I just kind of shrugged it off, and then I said, well, I think I'd like to do RAAM. And so we went to a convention in Sacramento and met George Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
And he actually was the one who introduced me to Team Donate Life. And that's how I was added to the team
Mm.
that year in 2011.
So you didn't have much time. You said you heard about in 2010. You had about a year then. How long was your training? I mean, what did that look like? Give me some sense of what you did to prepare for your first RAAM.
Training. What did I do?
You did doubles.
Yeah, I did doubles, and I did have VO2 max test done to just to better prepare myself and be aware of what I needed to do, and plus a nutrition class because I knew that it was ultra distance, and so I needed to stay fueled. So I kind of.
I think he did a lot of research.
Yeah, did a lot of research.
He did it on his own. But I'll have to say one of the best things we did was take a nutrition class. That was really, really helped our success.
Mm.
And I think
I'd love to learn more about that. I think that's pretty unique. First time I've heard of somebody specifically taking a nutrition class for the purpose of ultra cycling. What are some of the highlights from that class or things that you've taken away over the last decade since you've taken that class?
Well, for me, they give you a maximum amount of calories you should consume a day, and we try to stick to that. And plus, on my Garmin, I have an alarm that it reminds me. It's a reminder to fuel. So every 20 minutes, it'll remind me to eat a little something and hydrate so that I don't bonk. And that's what I took away from it, is to consume those calories every hour as well as stay hydrated.
Right, because once you get in a deficit, you can't really make it up. And especially in a multi-day event, you're always in a deficit. So it's even more important to make sure you're getting as much as your body can absorb and consume every single hour and day. So Elisabeth, how about you? What's kind of stuck with you over the last 10 years? What's worked well?
Well, at that point, when we took the nutrition class, I was actually trying to lose a little bit of weight. But what was interesting is because we were riding, so you still have to eat a lot of calories. And what was interesting is 60% of your calories was taken from carbs. And, it was kind of hard to understand I was going to lose weight, but still need to eat these carbs. And what I remember most is the bad carbs and the good carbs. So that has really stuck with us, definitely. Now the last year, pretty much, it's almost been a year now since I've been I've been plant-based.
Oh, yeah.
I have a lot of problems with sciatica pain. And so I heard that you could, if you ate more plant-based, you would have less problems with inflammation. And I have to say it definitely has worked.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, actually, most of my family has been plant-based for a number of years now. I'm not as strict when it comes to being 100% plant-based as my brother, for example, who's an ultra runner. But I would say generally every week I'm about 80 to 90% plant-based, and it hasn't hurt my performance at all through the last 3 or 4 years that I have been. It almost reminds me of when I did my first ride across America, and I was eating just kind of the usual stuff. I didn't have any experience when it came to, say, nutrition other than my nutritional strategy during a double century. And so I thought, at the lunch stop, maybe you'll have a Subway sandwich or, a sandwich or something. So I thought, hey, I'll be having a bunch of Subway sandwiches every day, maybe some burritos or, something like that. But after a day or so of eating that, especially in, 110, 115 degree heat through the desert, you can't stomach that, and you can't fit all of that bulk and all of those fibers in you. So then that's when I started experimenting with a liquid diet. Ensure is a very popular product. There's also plant-based ones out there. Ripple Milk is one of my favorites these days. And I had always heard about other ultra racers, especially in the multi-day events. using liquid nutrition, but it kind of seemed almost like when I thought about plant-based diet initially, I was skeptical. I thought there's no way that could work. How could I drink all of my calories and still feel good? I need to have like, I don't know, a steak or, something hearty and big that's going to fill up my stomach. And it's the strangest thing because I'm just drinking on my rides and I'm like, geez, shouldn't I be getting hungry soon? But I just never get hungry and I just keep drinking and drinking and that works. So really glad that that's working for you, Elisabeth. Have you seen the Game Changers documentary by chance?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's always inspirational.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, really glad that you guys were able to share that. I think that's a useful bit of information for all of us to glean from, the fact that you can do a lot in the way of training and preparing. You can take courses, you can do a lot of research, and that is important because I think for some people, maybe when they get into sport, they kind of just, do whatever they think sounds normal or, whatever they know, but you don't know what you don't know. And so it's good to be able to learn from both of you and all of the experience you had through the years. So getting back to training, Tom, what does training look like for you for a big event, whether that's the 508 or if it's a multi-day event like PBP or RAAM? How do you structure that training at a high level? I mean, are you looking at it from 6 months out, 12 months out?
I'm in the process of training for RAW 2021. So I started training 3 months ago. So it's 6 days a week. I have 2 strength days, 2 endurance days, 1 long endurance day, 1 short endurance day, and 2 recover easy spin days with 1 day off a week. 1 day absolutely doing nothing.
Wow, I couldn't keep up with that whole list. Sounds like you're pretty busy.
Yes, it's a commitment, but that's something that's been on the back of my mind is to do raw solo. And however, I was telling my wife, if there's someone who wants to do RAAM 4-person team, I'd jump on that too. So, but my goal is raw solo for 2021.
So
Sung wants to do a 4-person.
Okay, yeah, another guest we had in episode 2. Yeah, he does a lot. He sounds like you guys lost a few bolts, little nuts. Maybe both of you could do a solo raw, and then you can catch up with the other 3 and start from there. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Wish you the best on that. So it sounds like you have just when you started 3 months ago, so just over a year to be able to train for that.
Yes.
And I'd imagine you have some stepping stones along the way in terms of other events that you'll use to keep you motivated and reach certain milestones.
Yes. This month and next month I'm doing double centuries in preparation for the 24-hour time trial in Borrego Springs. And after that, starting in January, hopefully I can jump on some raw RAAM challenge events, which are 500 miles plus 500 miles. So taking a couple of those or 3 or 4 of those before raw.
Now, when do you expect that you'll start really ramping up mileage specifically for raw? What will that look like for you?
What do you mean by that?
In terms of adding on the mileage, I mean, I'd imagine right now your mileage is, however many miles a week, 200 miles a week or something like that. What will the max mileage be per week in the latter stage of your raw training next year in 2021?
Not too sure. Like you said, right now it's about 250 miles per week. But I'm sure I'll have to increase that sometime after 24-hour.
Yeah, so the 24-hour event, that's going to be a really great one. Is that going to be your big test to see that, okay, I feel comfortable both at a physical and a mental level? Or is there going to be another test ride that you'll do that'll be your final preparation, just in terms of, getting your crew all prepared, going through a kind of a test ride, but perhaps a long one where you're really exercising all of the different components?
Well, that's where the RAAM Challenge events come in. I think the first one is in February, and we should possibly do a test run then.
Right.
And, yeah.
Now, those are typically about 500 or so miles, right?
Yes.
Okay. So would you say with that distance, then you'll feel comfortable if you're able to complete that, feeling good, everything's going well, that that'll be the preparation for you?
I don't know if I'll ever feel comfortable.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of work.
But I suppose at the same time, you have so much
Yeah.
experience with the course. So, I mean, that's a huge factor when it comes to the Race Across the West or the Race Across America. It's just having the experience yourself, mentally knowing what to expect, knowing how to pace yourself, knowing how to eat, but also for your crew as well. And so I'd imagine Elisabeth will be on the crew. And so you guys are, veterans at this. So I'd imagine really at this point, it's just a matter of being able to prepare as best as you'd like to in knowing what's coming up ahead, right?
Right. And like you said, it'll take a couple of RAAM challenges to get all that squared away. And
I think it's going to be good to participate in those also, because you do then have a crew, because the crew is, that's really an important part of your race. And like you said, we know the course. We've officiated the course. We've crewed,
really?
Both of us have crewed the course and ridden the course. So yeah, that is an advantage.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome. So where did you guys officiate?
We were RAAM officials, and we did, I don't know what year it was where we did to Durango. I don't, after we did RAAM in 2012, I think the first year after that, we just officiated at the start. Then we did a little further, and then 1 year we officiated to Durango.
Nice. Jeez, you guys really have done it all. So that was then Great Divide, beautiful out there. What else do we have over here?
That actually is in, I don't know what year that is, but that's when we were working on the California Triple Crown 1,000 Mile, and that was at Eastern Sierra. That was our fourth one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see Tom holding up the 4. Oh, both of you holding up 4.
Yeah,
Nice.
4. That's a really pretty, that's a good double century. That's a hard double century, but that one's beautiful.
What would you say is your favorite double century 200-mile ride in the California Triple Crown series?
Eastern Sierra.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Tom,
I would say yeah.
All right. What do we have here? It looks like the Silver State 508. 4-person relay?
That was a 4-person. The Spinner Dolphins.
Cool.
Again, Crystal had dolphin was her favorite animal, so that's how we chose the Totem Spinner Dolphins. And that was in, what did I say, 2014. That was the first year they did it in Reno, out of Reno. And we were a 4-person team. We actually had the record for 4 years for a 4-person mixed 50 plus. It was broken in 17, I think.
I just want you to know that Elisabeth made me do that.
Oh yeah.
Really? Because I got hit by a car earlier in the year, and I injured my shoulder, and I needed surgery. But she wanted to do the race before I had surgery.
That was really tough.
My arm was hanging off the bike and right there.
So, geez, Elisabeth really is the instigator. I think we find.
Yeah, she is.
We figure that once and for all and have it here in this recording. So.
that was if I look back at it, that was a pretty cruel thing to do, but I wanted to do that race so bad.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So how does it work actually in the 508 in terms of a relay team? Is there just one totem for the whole team?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. But now have either of you done the 508 solo?
No, that's another thing I want to do.
Okay. Very
You
cool.
could still do that this year.
Oh, that's true. Sounds like you'd be fit enough to do it.
Yeah.
Is it in September? I think it's September though, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tom? You can make a big announcement here.
That's after it's after Borrego. Yeah.
No,
No,
I think
before.
it's
Yeah.
before
Borrego.
Borrego, yeah. I think the focus is Borrego.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. It's good to have a focus. Don't want to spread yourself too thin.
Yeah, let's hope Borrego works. That's going to be a very tough event to figure out with the COVID.
Yeah, that's right. It has been very disruptive, but interesting at the same time to see, all the creativity that all of the event organizers have been putting into practice and also the participation from a lot of riders, especially the virtual kind of rides. It's nice to have the options, but definitely looking forward to being able to get out there on a beautiful course like this. Where is this? Is this PBP or what are we looking at here?
That is a tour that we did. It was from Berlin to Prague, and that is in Germany, St. Moritzburg, East Germany. It's on the Eastern Germany, and that was just one of the day rides. On these international tours that we go to, we've been on two organizations. One is Santana Cycles. I don't know what their official name is, but it's Santana, which is it's a couple that runs the tours, and they make Santana bicycles. And what's really cool is your hotel is a boat.
Wow.
Yeah, so at night you're in a boat, and during the day you ride your bicycle. So they go to different ports, and then they jump you off, and you have you're on your own during the day, and they give you the route, and then you ride the route, and then you meet back with the boat, and then at night they go to the next port. So this year was from Berlin to Prague. It was a little tricky that year because Europe was having a drought, so a lot of the time we weren't able to cruise on the Elbe River. But yeah, that was pretty. I mean, all of them have been great. All of them.
Yeah, it sounds super memorable, very unique, and I could imagine breathtaking scenery like this. A lot of nice architecture as well out there.
Yeah.
Now,
and during those tours, that's for fun. So a lot of people go there and they ride real fast. And it's like, well, why are you doing that? You're there to see the countryside. So we always take the maximum amount of time. We stop for lunch, drink a beer. In the late afternoon, we'll have pastries and coffee. And we usually go with 3 other couples. There's 8 of us that usually go, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, sounds great. One day we'll have to follow you along on one of these journeys. So
I'll be your babysitter.
Oh, all right. There we go. Well, I mean, we could always put a little baby a pool thing there on the back and drag our son along.
I'm trying to think which tour there was a triple. Was that?
Oh, cool.
I think that was Paris to Amsterdam. There was a triple.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Now I see there's a tandem in this photo. Is this your tandem? You packed it and shipped it across and put it back together again? Okay.
Yes, this is a
travel
tandem. It has couplings, and I don't know if you could see right underneath the captain's seat. There's a coupling, and it breaks down into 3 pieces, and it fits in 2 suitcases.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Pretty neat. Now it looks like you guys just have rim brakes on this.
Yes.
Okay. Now, have you wanted or do you have a tandem that has disc brakes, or does it not matter? You guys are really comfortable with that?
Well, we prefer. Well, we bought this used from a friend, and but our other tandem does have disc brakes in the back, and some of the descents that we do in other countries are maybe a little steep. They should require disc brakes, but we don't do that much where it's that necessary. But,
yeah, I've ridden a tandem. I own one actually, and I've ridden a little bit with my wife. Nothing crazy like what you guys, I'm sure, are facing out on all of these rides that you do. But yeah, going down a descent, especially at a decent grade downhill, it's pretty tough on the captain to be able to control the speed and come to a stop if necessary.
Well, sometimes Elisabeth does the Fred Flintstone and puts her legs out and drags her feet on the ground to slow us down.
Oh, nice. Now, how about what my wife has done once before? Is she stuck her feet up onto the top tube and wasn't even pedaling. I didn't realize it for a while.
That's the big joke all the time on the tandem.
Yeah. So I see a nice big bag at the back. What do you guys usually pack in there?
There's some food and extra tubes.
Rain gear.
Yeah, rain gear and just necessary stuff we might need.
And it looks like you both have just a single water bottle on the front. What do you guys usually filling them up with on a ride like this?
Electrolytes and mainly water, because we're not really doing that much physical. It's not really that physical because it's just a tour, and you can cruise at whatever pace you want to cruise at. Right. And there's plenty of places to stop, get food to eat and drink, and so mainly electrolytes.
Cool. Yeah, it looks like some fun times. I'm sure you have so many photographs in your photo albums of all of these amazing adventures. Yeah. All right, who's this happy chap here? 2018.
That was the first time I did a 24-hour time trial, and did 338 miles. This year I'm shooting for 400.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, congratulations on this first one, and we'll look forward to being able to hear back from you after this year's one in November. So tell me about your experience with the 24-hour time trial. It was the first time that you did it back then, 2018. What was kind of your mindset going into it, and how did it all play out?
Oh, shoot. We were on a tandem tour out, I don't know what river we were at, and Elisabeth said, hey, there's a waiting list for 24-hour time trial. I said, put me down. Huh. And she goes, what do you want to do, the 12-hour? I said, no, I've done double century before. You know what you can do in 12 hours. I said, 24 hours. Yeah. I was on the waiting list, and I'm like, it's never going to happen. They won't ever call.
Yeah.
A few days later, they said, hey, if you're serious,
oh my goodness,
you're in. So I said, okay. So it was a eye opener. You start at 5 p.m. in the evening. So you start out riding through the night at first. And that was kind of difficult because you're up most of the day, all day, because your adrenaline's going, you can't sleep, even if you try to take a nap. Then you jump on your bike at 5 p.m. and you start a race and just going around in circles. It's a 19-mile loop. And so you ride through the night, and I took several breaks because I wasn't really prepared. I didn't train very much for it because I was anticipating not doing it.
Yeah.
But then I finished, and it was exciting. We had crewed for Shauna Hogan
the year before,
and I said, well, this is something I might want to do.
So it sounds like you had some exposure to it, at least similar to your RAAMs and I guess the RAAs as well. So that's great. So you had an idea of what to expect. Now, what are you going to be doing differently this year with that experience and just with all of your breadth of experience? What are some of the optimizations or strategies you're going to be using? How are you going to kind of organize your ride this year?
Well, like I said, I've been training since 3 months ago, and just pace myself better and be a lot more mentally focused and prepared to do something like this, because like we said, a lot of ultra cycling events I feel are mental.
Mm.
So
Well, and I know you're from, you're not going to be off the bike, not off the bike as much. You don't realize how the short stops, even, do take up a lot of your time. So I know that would be something he would definitely not do as much.
yeah, in 24 hours, I was off the bike for like an hour, 10 minutes, and that just blew a lot of miles.
Now, did you have any issues back in 2018 in terms of, getting sleepy? Did you take anything to combat that? What's your thought process going into this year's 24-hour?
No, I did. I did get a little sleepy. It was in the afternoon, like maybe 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon the next day, and I got a little sleepy. But I had caffeine tablet that I and that helped. Just took half because I never used them before, and had it with me. I said, well, maybe I'll just try it here, and it seemed to work. But
now, generally, through training or just day to day, are you a big caffeine consumer, or you hardly have any? So it really worked for you well because you just never really have any.
No, right now. Well, back then I wasn't a caffeine consumer, but and it did help. But right now I've been drinking a lot of caffeine.
Yeah, coffee. He's a big coffee drinker.
Oh yeah, I mean, geez, if you're doing PBP and touring out there in Europe, I mean, guess you'll pick that up. So, any other plans in the way of combating any kind of sleepiness that you'll get this year, or do you think just through more training you'll be able to just withstand that and last the full 24 hours?
No, nothing to prepare myself for that, but I think just mentally I'll be prepared to. I know what to expect now, so I feel that mentally I'll be able to overcome the sleepiness, tiredness,
right?
And with training, working a lot of speed and power, and get around there faster to get my 400 miles, and then I'm done.
Yeah, that's very exciting, and it's coming up quick, so it's getting exciting. Great job.
He doesn't require though. Tom doesn't. He's a retired firefighter, so he's used to doing, like, it could be a 24-hour shift. So one of the things I know of Tom is he doesn't require a lot of sleep, and he also he can take a short nap and be very productive after just a short, like take a cat nap and be very productive after. So I think that helps them in these 24, long distance events, where I'm the exact opposite. I like my sleep. So, I sit here and think, it would be fun to try this 24-hour, but I don't know if I can. I don't know.
Tandem, you can take a nap.
I'll take tandem. I'll take a nap. I'll take a hint from your wife and put my feet up.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like Tom is volunteering. That'll definitely prepare him for raw. That's great. Well, I guess you won't know until you try, and no harm in trying, right?
Right. Well, the fun thing about the 24-hour is you can do one lap, and that's your mileage, and you don't DNF. Yeah. Right?
Oh, so that's true.
And you'll still get one of those medals.
And
Oh, there we go. All right, Elisabeth. Put yourself on the waiting list.
Yeah, no, not that. I have to be in that pit. That's
going to be a lot of fun. Hope it all works out. But great memories, and I can't believe 2 years since then, and coming back with the vengeance, Tom. So we'll be rooting for you. I'm sure you'll hit that 400 mark. You're doing all the training, and you've got a lot of that knowledge. What do we have?
Last year when I did the 24-hour, I got actually it happened in PBP. I was on the last 2 controls to the finish, and it was like 70 miles to the finish,
Mm.
and I developed a Schirmer neck.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, and so for 70 miles, I was holding my head up. You know those little fizz tubes or the perpetuum
Oh, yeah,
tubes or
yeah.
solids?
Uh-huh.
I used that on my, like 4 of them in a little tube bag,
Huh.
and I tied them on with arm warmers.
Oh my goodness.
It propped my head up, but
Mm.
still coming into some towns, I couldn't see the signs, so I had to push my head up
Oh
to
my
see the
goodness.
signs. And I did
That's
that for the
insane.
last 70 miles to finish. And then I got to Borrego Springs, and I thought I had recovered. And I was like 6 hours into the event, and it was like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. And I was like running off the road because I couldn't hold my head up.
Oh,
And I
no.
wasn't going to do it for another 16, 18 hours. So I just called it quit, DNF. But yeah, that's kind of a weird experience, is to have your head sort of droop down.
Right, right.
You know, you have no control over it.
Yeah, and that's insane. I mean, would you say in PBP, I mean, do you see it more often than not? I mean, are there several people every time, would you say, that ends up getting Schirmer's neck, or what does that look like? I mean, are people aware of it out there? I mean, when they saw you, you know, the onlookers?
Well, I don't know if they're aware of it, but the first time I saw it was in RAAM with, I don't know, there were a few people that had Schirmer's neck, but I was aware of it, and I don't know about the spectators if they're aware of it, but because I was aware of it, I caught it real quick, and I knew what to do. So I didn't DNF 70 miles from the finish, because there was no way I was not going to finish that event.
Oh boy.
After all that.
So how did it onset? What was the first signs, and how did you catch it early on?
I was cycling into the second to the last control, and I had a little difficulty seeing the road signs. And I'm like, what the heck? You know, am I that tired? So when I got to that control, took a little longer rest than normal. Usually I would just eat and go. And I took a little longer rest. And as I left, I was like maybe 30 minutes from the control, and my head started to droop. And I saw a climb coming up, and I couldn't see the top of the climb. Although I knew there were lights going up, I couldn't see it. So I stopped, and I was like, oh man, I was freaking out, because I thought I was done. And then I said, oh, I have all this equipment. I can do this, this, and this. And it helped. And on my Garmin, I followed the map. You can see the map. So I was looking at my Garmin a lot, and on the Garmin it has the sharp turn warning. So it would let me know if there was a sharp turn coming up. So I would slow down and pop my head up to see where I was going. Yeah. And so I finished the last 70 miles.
Jeez.
Stopping every now and then. I was I probably would have finished in 80 hours. I was looking at finishing at maybe 5, 6 a.m. However, I had to stop a lot to readjust my brace and rest. So that took like another 6 hours, 7 hours before I could make it into the finish.
Wow. Incredible achievement, great memories, and I'm sure it made for quite the sight for all the spectators.
Well, it wasn't a nice sight for me to come see, because I was following him, and I also thought, he'd be coming in around 5 or 6 in the morning, and then it just got later and later and later and later, and I was actually very, very concerned. And then people that I had been following that we knew came in.
Zung, he passed me.
He came in. Yeah, he came in before Tom, and Tom had been way ahead of him for a long time. So watching him come in and then him holding his head was. Yeah. But it's pretty weird phenomenon, because the next day.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was fine.
Just a little tired, but I'm holding my head up normal, and
it's very strange.
Just needs a little bit more rest, I suppose. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's true, and something that we as ultra cyclists find out very quickly as we compete and participate in a lot of these events, that the human body is so resilient, and you can really push it to pretty extreme lengths. And I think that's a good example of that.
And what I'm doing now to strengthen my neck is I have a little GoPro and the little
Oh yeah.
plastic case for
Mhm.
waterproof.
Mhm.
I fill that up with some weight, so it's probably I don't know how much it weighs,
Wow.
but I set it on and I train with it. It's on my
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
Added
That
weight.
is definitely unique. I think you'll probably be the only person on the show, probably for several hundred episodes, that ever does that for training. That really shows the commitment. That's awesome. No, that's a nice tip and trick. Maybe someone else will start trying it and it'll become a trend, Tom.
Well,
We'll call it the Tom Tom.
well, let's hope this doesn't happen to anyone else, because it's
Yeah,
just a weird feeling. It
Mm.
just feels weird.
I can imagine. But glad you made that. And geez, last 70 miles, that would have been a heartbreaker. But I'm glad that had a happy ending to it. And you MacGyvered that one. And thankfully, a lot of ultra cyclists are very creative and can make a fix, quick when it's needed. So congratulations on that one. What are we looking at here?
Oh, that was on one of our Santana tours. That was in the French Polynesia. And
Wow,
the
nice.
last day we got to race in a professional race called La Ronde Tahiti. It was in Tahiti. And I don't remember what place we came in.
Fourth
in the
Nice.
tandems.
Great
So
job.
yeah, it was really, really cool. That was quite exciting.
Yeah, sounds like fun. Now, was this the jersey that you got from that ride?
Yeah,
Yes.
you could
Nice.
order them.
Yeah,
That
that's sweet.
Yeah, those are our favorite jerseys when we go on these tours. They usually have a jersey that they've designed. So
Yeah. No, it looks really nice. Makes for a good honeymoon for some other viewers.
oh yeah, we ended
Yeah.
that trip on the over the water bungalow. We stayed
Ah,
for 3 nights, so that was just
incredible.
heavenly.
Jeez, you guys know how to do it. Work hard, play hard. But I
Yep.
guess it sounds like mostly playing for you guys, since you guys are able to do it together and have so much fun with it. Cool. All right, we got Tom in action here. What are we looking at?
PBP. I don't know where the heck I was.
Cool.
That's one of the photographs you can purchase. That's a good picture.
Yeah, looking good, Tom. Definitely need to frame that one up if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. All right, here we go. Borrego Springs. Was this for
Borrego
the
Springs.
24?
That's my time trial bike.
Nice. Is that the same one that you'll be riding this year?
Yes.
Cool.
And it's named Two Dogs.
Oh yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah.
So Tom, Two Dogs. Would that be your totem for the 508 if you did that solo?
Hey, yeah, probably.
Oh, that's a good
That's a
one.
good one.
Yeah, that's unique. Very cool. Thanks for sharing that story. Very interesting. So this one was from your first 24-hour time trial then in
No,
2018?
that's from the second one.
Oh, this was the second one. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, looking good. Tell me about your setup here. It looks like you really have things dialed in. You have your aero bars propped up pretty high there. Interesting seat that you have.
The whole bike was, I had a bike fit.
Mm-hmm.
So everything was measured to.
That's that Infinity saddle.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Marco Bello uses that as well, right?
Yeah.
Now, did you learn about that saddle from him or vice versa?
Well, he was using it, and who makes them?
Dr. Vince Marcel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's a friend of Shauna's too. So when we were crewing for Shauna at the 24 hours, she was having some difficulty, and I don't know how we got. Was he there? Or
Yeah,
he was telling us to get her fat. She needed fat in her diet.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember going up and down the the parking lot asking people for avocado or butter so that we could
interesting.
get her fat.
So she took a teaspoon of butter, and she let it dissolve in her mouth. And she was good to go.
Good to go.
Wow, incredible. Never heard of that one before.
Yeah,
so make sure you always keep a stick of butter in your saddlebag, I guess is the takeaway.
Well, actually, one of the things Tom does for nutrition on longer rides is he does tortilla roll-ups. And he puts butter or avocado.
It's a spinach tortilla, and then you put a layer of butter on it, and then a couple pieces of turkey and avocado, and you roll it up. So there you have your carbs, your good fat in the avocado, and your protein in the turkey, and also the fat in the butter. So you have all those components as you're cycling. So it's there for you.
And that was something we made for Marco too last year at RAAM. He always laughed, a Slovenian eating a burrito.
And he enjoyed it, I assume?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that secret recipe with all the folks. That's so cool. So the infinity seat, for those who don't know, so in the middle section, it's hollow, right? There's no seat there.
Well,
that's the main selling point.
There's a little bit of a seat, but for the most part, it's hollow. Yes.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been riding with that saddle?
About a
year and a half.
Yeah, about a year and a half. I use it in PBP. And it's the most comfortable saddle I've ever used. Hardly ever have to stand. Absolutely no saddle sores, chafing.
Yeah.
So
cool.
I like it.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, after you've ridden for so many years and you have completed so many huge events like RAAM and RAW and 508, it's amazing that even just a year and a half ago, you were able to switch to the seat and have found even more comfort. So that's just incredible. I'm sure that'll help a lot with the 24-hour and your RAW next year. That's a really sweet ride.
Yeah.
It's a pretty bike.
Yeah.
The dogs, take it out for a run.
Very cool. All right. What do we have here, Elisabeth?
Oh, that's RAAM. That's RAAM 2012. That's my first trek, Orange Crush. I'm a San Francisco Giants fan, so that's where that color came from. But yeah, that was RAAM.
Wow, you look just as serious as Tom did in that PBP photo.
Yeah.
Where was that one? Up here. Yep. About the same. You guys are both crazy.
It was amazing. I rode good in RAAM. I was actually, I don't know, it's something,
Well,
I was younger too.
when you train, you're on a training schedule, and then you have your diet, your nutrition. It makes a big difference.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I felt the same way in training for a lot of those events, even though it seemed like you would be, I don't know, maybe more tired or just more sore or something, in doing 300, 400, 500 miles a week and, all of that. But it turned out actually I felt the best that I've ever felt in those times because you have your sleep dialed in every day. It's very important to get all your rest in. Otherwise, the next day you just can't perform as well. And just having all the nutrition, like you said, dialed in, man, makes a big difference. So that was RAAM. You're looking really good there, feeling good. Looking super serious. I like those glasses. Do you still have those ones?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, looking good.
They actually are the old Oakleys, and the lenses have an SF for San Francisco Giants.
Oh, okay. That's so cool. Let's see. Looks like we have one more photo here. Looks like Tom this time.
That was Trona 308. That was, I don't remember what year that was, Trona. What did we say? 2013? or 14. That's when Death Valley was closed. The national park was closed, so they had to adjust Furnace Creek. And it was called it was 2014 because you got hit by the car. He actually did this a few weeks after being hit by a car because he was registered for this race. So that was Trona 308. He did it as a 2-person.
She made me do it.
Oh, I did not make him do this one.
I needed surgery. And she said, no, you can't have surgery.
No, you didn't know you needed surgery then. That was all on him, Justin. This one was not me.
Yeah. Jeez, we're going to have another episode just to get to the bottom of that one. But in any case, Tom, you're crazy for having done that, but glad you were able to, and I guess had your surgery after.
Yeah, it wasn't until November. November I had surgery.
Now, you guys have accomplished so much. You have so much experience across the board, all kinds of different events all over the world. And you've been in the ultra cycling community for a very long time. What would you say to people? What do you think that most people don't realize about ultra cycling? Whether it's just a non-cyclist or a non-ultra cyclist, what do you think people don't understand? And, when you're talking with somebody that maybe isn't an ultra cyclist themselves, what do you think they don't understand about a lot of what you've done in 508, RAAM, RAW, the 24-hour time trial, a lot of these multi-day tours that you do?
Well, I think most people think that, first of all, they think you're crazy. But on the other side, it's self-gratification and just the accomplishment of pushing yourself to another level. And where a lot of people don't go there or don't want to go there or don't feel that they can. And I think that's what they don't understand is that, if you mentally feel you can do it, you can do it. You push yourself.
That's good.
I have to really agree with that because I would never have thought of myself as being able to accomplish any of this growing up because like I said, I was not athletic at all. And so it definitely the self-gratification. But what I think people probably don't know is the kinship that you develop and friendships that you develop. I mean, we have friends now all over the world, and that, like, being able to go visit Marco in Slovenia and this last 24-hour, we rented a house with Marco and Irma, and they had a gentleman from New Zealand. So hopefully one day we'll be able to get to New Zealand.
Yeah, we've been invited there.
We've been invited to New Zealand. And then when we crewed for Marco when he did RAW with the 2-person, him and Philippe, he's from Switzerland. Actually, that's where we should be right now, is in Switzerland, because Tom was hoping to do tour. And he was going to do the 24-hour in Slovenia. So, I mean, just the fact that you develop these friendships, I don't, just like you, Justin, I mean, I think of you as a friend, and we got to know you through a double century. And then that year that you did Bass Lake Double, there was a gentleman, do you remember Julian from Germany?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so he stayed at our house, and then when we officiated RAAM, we met, were they a four-person team from Germany, and his name is Torsten. They did it in 13, I believe. We've been to his house a couple times in Germany, so I think people don't understand that it's not just all about riding. It's, it's
people you meet,
the friendships you've developed. Yeah, I think that's pretty incredible too.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with both of you. And I think both of you epitomize that very well and through all your years. And it's just great hearing and seeing all the joy that you guys have in writing and in sharing your experiences. I'm glad we've been able to capture this. I'm sure other people just like you, Elisabeth, will find themselves riding out there, maybe going across America, and they never thought they would have.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes I still think I'd like to do it again. I'd like to do it with all women and have all men as crew.
Oh, that sounds great. We'll have to put that one together. Yeah, I can't wait.
I just think, I know there's a lot of men crew, but I just think that would be pretty incredible.
Yeah. Sounds like a neat experience. What do you say, Tom? You going to be the crew
I'm
chief?
Nope, I'm out.
You're out. Yeah. And, we didn't cover the Bass Lake Double at all. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that and your involvement there?
What year was that, Justin? Do you remember?
Great question. I want to say it's probably 2013.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was after RAAM. But yeah, so we were ride directors for 3 years for Bass Lake Double here in the Fresno County. It's one of the double centuries on the Triple Crown, California Triple Crown calendar. It's hard to do. A very, very hard thing to do is be a ride director. It's a lot of work from the minute that ride ends. You start planning for the next year. It was a lot of fun. We just ended up kind of giving it up just because we were doing traveling, so we couldn't give the time that was needed. But yeah, it's also rewarding watching people finish a double, especially when it's their first double. So,
well, one rewarding thing about it for me was this gal. She was on Powerhouse and she was going up towards Bass Lake, and she stopped and she got off her bike. She sat down on a chair. She's, I can't go any further. I can't go.
Yeah,
I can't do this anymore. I said, sit down here for a minute, have a drink, cool down a little bit, take your bike, start walking up the hill, start walking. And if you feel you can get on the bike, get on it and go. She finished.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, she came over to me after the event and said, hey, if it wasn't for you telling me to walk my bike, keep going, I probably would have never finished. But she finished. And that was like a big moment for me and a rewarding moment as being a director of an event.
I'll tell you a story about walking up a hill real quick.
Sure.
We were crewing for Shauna Hogan 508. And the crew chief is a real good friend of hers. And we were climbing up a canyon. And Shauna does not like cold weather at all. So it was cold. It was at night in a canyon. And Shauna and her crew chief walked up the hill. And never in my wildest dreams would I have ever thought that Shauna Hogan would walk during a race. She's just like everybody else. She walked up the hill and finished. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. I think a good testament to really the journey and the adventure for us as individuals, as ultra cyclists. It could be on a given day, just the wrong circumstance, maybe just for an hour, maybe for, half a day that you're not feeling well, but that drive and that perseverance to keep going and knowing that the body is so resilient. So I'm glad you shared that story because, of course, we've shared about a lot of your accomplishments and all the successes, but it's true that there are times when things get difficult, but we're all just human. And even, both of you riding hundreds of miles and, Tom going for 400 miles in this November for the 24-hour and doing RAAM multiple times, friends and family could mistake us for superhumans. Meanwhile, Elisabeth, right, you could testify to this, that you're just like everybody else, but you take it one step at a time and you realize that, hey, it's not impossible actually, right?
Well, Shauna said, I'm moving forward.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
moving forward. Well, on that note, I think that's a good segue into our sprint to the finish line questions. Just a couple, so that way we can end on a fun note and move forward to Tom's next big adventure. And we'll definitely have him on the show again to be able to recap that ride. So a couple questions here. First one, when is your next long training ride? And how long do you expect it to be? Both of you.
Mine is 22nd, the next weekend. Doing a double century. So,
Now, will that be the virtual ride, or are you able to actually do the course?
No, well, it'll be here in Fresno. We'll leave from my house, well, close to the house, and just do. Well, actually, it's one of the brevet routes, 300K, but I just added a few more miles to make it a 200 miles.
Cool.
But yeah, planning on doing that on Saturday, the 22nd.
Sounds like fun.
I don't know when I'm going to be on the bike again, Justin.
Well, I guess in your dreams, I'm sure you dream about it after all these years. It's the only thing you think about, live, breathe, and dream ultra cycling.
Yeah. Well, and a granddaughter now, so.
Yeah. Hey, well, I can relate. I have a almost 5-month-old, and it's been a low mileage year for me, but still love riding when I can, and glad to be able to chat with all you guys, and I could live through all your experiences. All right. How would you both rate yourself in terms of bicycle maintenance? Do you guys both do a pretty good job cleaning, tuning up?
0.
I do all of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I prep both bikes.
Well, I guess, you got her into it, so I guess it's only fair, right? Okay, what is your dream bicycle, or do you already own it?
I own it.
Okay, which one was that?
That's my new Trek.
Okay.
That was a dream of mine to have, that. I'm a girl. It's a pretty bike.
Oh, yeah. No, we'll definitely have to see that and share that with everybody. And what was the name for that one?
Oh, that's Crystal's gift. I have that actually painted on Crystal's. It says Crystal's gift. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's very special. Tom?
E-bike.
Oh boy, that would make things a lot easier. Right?
Actually, that is something we're looking into. Our friends have a e-bike tandem, and they said we can make one of our tandems and make it an e-bike. They did they moved one of their tandems, and it's just just to have for fun.
Yeah, just for fun.
Yeah. No, that would be really awesome. Geez, how many times can you do RAAM with that? Awesome. You could do it like twice a year. Very cool.
Of course, it'll just be for fun, but an e-bike would be, tandem e-bike. And, just go out and have fun.
Yeah, no, that'd be a lot of fun. All right, who would you guys want to nominate for an episode on the show? Somebody that, maybe they just have a story that really has inspired you, or a story that you haven't heard before.
I thought about that because I listened to your other episodes. Do you know who Adam Ashwell is?
I don't.
He lives in Fort Scott, Kansas, and his family runs one of the time stations on the RAAM route, and I believe he's now 16, and I don't know how long he's been following RAAM, but he was a chunky little kid, and he's now a very thin 16-year-old who has started racing, and one of the other ultra cyclists, I can't think of Mike's last name. Anyway, he brought him to the 24-hour this
incredible.
Past year, and I think he would be. He has ambition, I'm sure, to do RAAM. So, but just his journey of losing weight and being all into the RAAM racers, I think it would be fun to have a kid's perspective.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah, thanks for that suggestion.
I have another suggestion, George Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great suggestion.
Yeah, he as a ride director, as a ultra cyclist,
Oh, yeah. Thank you for the suggestions. And I'll look forward to being able to follow your journeys, Tom, through this next year. You have two very big events coming up, the 24 and Raw. So that's very exciting, and wish you all the best on that. There's a lot of inspiration to gather from today's episode with Tom and Elisabeth. So I hope you feel inspired to ride with somebody and to go the distance. Until next time, everyone, keep spinning ultra.